First things first, Happy New Year everybody! Right, to business. The Maw, my most requested review ever, for some reason. The Maw revolves around two characters, Frank and the Maw. Is the most fun thing to play as. Visually and audially, the Maw does a great job. Sure, there could be a bit more variety in the environment, and hearing what seems like a 3-year-old calling for the Maw is grating. But those don't detract from the experience. Not that there was much to detract from. You see, the Maw is, for want of a better description, Pac-Man, in purple. That's not inherently a bad thing, but the Maw then goes out to make several mistakes. Not only is there no difficulty in the Maw, there's no length. You could easily traverse in 100% all the levels in 2 to 3 hours and be done with it. The most complicated it gets is dragging a fire lizard into a river so Maw can eat it.